All right, I think we're ready to go. This is Jason Kanigan from Sales on Fire. No matter where I go, I get the reflection in my glasses. I apologize in advance for that. I'm going to try and keep my head tilted down. I'm here today with SEO expert Neil Patel, who is one of these internet wizards. He knows far more and has forgotten more than most of us will ever know about SEO. And I appreciate you agreeing to meet with me for a few minutes today, Neil.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
You bet. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your most recent project, or at least the most recent project I know about, which is the Quick Sprout page. And could you tell us a little bit about that and your purpose for putting that up there?
Sure. Are you talking about my latest blog post in which I'm breaking down some of my projects, or just ClickSprout in general?
Just in general.
Yeah. So ClickSprout's my personal blog. It's been my personal blog for a long time, 5, 6 years, maybe even more. And I just blog on it for fun, right? Like share my marketing advice, what I learned during the week or the previous week, or sometimes I'll write blog posts based on what some other users ask me questions on. It's just a fun project for me. It's more of a hobby than a moneymaker, to be quite frank.
Right. Yeah, I see. Like you've got a crazy offer on there for time with you for $97 or something like that. I mean, it's something I'd like to jump on, and I don't even do anything with SEO. I'm a sales trainer and content guy, you know. But it just seemed like a great deal to me. So could you share with us? I guess a lot of people wanted to hear about if you had a big share that would help people with their SEO. Is there one kind of thing that jumps out?
Yeah, and it's obvious one, and most people probably know it, but they still don't do it right. It's actually content marketing. And the reason content marketing is so effective is these days searchers know people are building links, they're going after them bad links out there, they're penalizing you, right? Assuming, especially if you're doing things spammy. And there's a lot of content sites, and they're also hitting the content sites for creating duplicate content or content that's poor in quality. So if you can create good content and really good content, right? Like on ClickSport, I have like Advanced Guide to SEO, Advanced Guide to Content Marketing. So I write really detailed content and evergreen content. You can still read the SEO guide a year from now and it'll still be valuable. Same with the content marketing guide or even a few years from now. And by going above and beyond when it comes to just your overall content generation, the search engines are going to be like, wow, this is awesome content. It's nowhere else on the web. More people are linking to it, more people are sharing it via the social web. Let's rank it higher. And that's helping people rank higher than anything else. And it goes back to the age-old thing, right? The Wikipedias of the world, the about.coms, the CNNs, all these sites do extremely well. We've known it for a long time. They produce more content than any of us. It's just we're all too lazy to produce high-quality content.
Okay, interesting. You know, and I was surprised to hear you say that actually. That you can just kind of keep doing this. So the Panda and Penguin updates and that they don't really matter if you're producing great content.
Yeah, they don't really penalize you because if you're writing good content, it benefits the user, so why would they penalize you, right? They just
Right.
don't care at the end of the day. They want to do what's best for the user. They don't care about penalizing sites or not penalizing sites. It's not like their goal is to go out there and be like, hey, how many sites can we ding today? Their overall goal is, hey, how can we provide users a better search experience? How can we show them more content that they'll love? How can we help them solve their problems? How can we make it so when they type something in Google, they click the first result, they find what they're looking for?
Sounds simple. And they really want that great content to match up. Okay. Somebody asked about mobile sites, and is there anything that you can do with SEO to kind of optimize search results for somebody's mobile site?
Yeah, load time is really important. Don't try to have too big of a page.
Hmm.
A lot of people try to create mobile apps for their like mobile site. I think that's a bad idea because then people have to download it. You should just use a responsive design.
Okay. So yeah, because I see a lot of people still offering to sell the mobile sites, and I'm not too much into that market, but it seems to me, yeah, you ought to be moving on to responsive sites now that do it all in one, right?
Exactly. It's much more simple because then you can make a site that's compatible for your desktop, for your tablet, and mobile web, right? So all three in one.
Hmm. Yeah, makes a lot of sense to me. So what's the biggest, newest, hottest project that you're working on right now?
No new hot project, just still cranking on Kissmetrics, having fun doing it. So
Okay. Yeah. And you work for all kinds of companies, large and medium and small on there. Is there anything exciting that you could tell us about?
yeah, my funnest thing is actually seeing how other companies grow.
Yeah.
So finding out how they went from zero to whatever revenue they're at, and then what parts of that formula are replicatable, and then how can I take that and apply it and get other sites to grow. But for me, that's really fun.
Okay. I know a question that was forwarded to me that somebody hoped you would answer is, would you ever consider investing in the companies that you help out because you're empowering them with all this traffic all of a sudden?
For me, I've invested probably in well over 30 internet companies. A lot of them I helped using that same concept. What I've learned is just because you give someone money and try to tell them what to do, it doesn't mean they're going to take your advice. I found that by not investing, they're more likely to take my advice than investing. It's
Interesting.
really counterintuitive, but that's what I found out. So I try not to invest too much.
Hmm. Kind of keep that professional distance and keep
Yeah,
feeling special.
it's actually easier to get equity and give advice and not put
Yeah.
in any money than it is to put in money and give advice.
Okay. Another question that somebody had was, and this comes actually from Colin Therio and his Cult of Copy, was if you weren't doing this, if you were not having anything to do with SEO and you picked a different career path, what would that be?
I'd probably be in the investment banking world, so I'd probably go work for Goldman Sachs.
Okay. So either way, you'd be dealing with numbers, statistics, all kinds of things. Okay.
That's
Um,
correct.
for somebody who's got a little bit of SEO experience, maybe they've been working with it for 6 months or a year or something like that. What do you think? Is there something that would be you'd point at and say, okay, this is the smartest thing you can do now. Go get this or go learn this.
If someone's dealing with SEO for 3 to 6 months, I would actually have them focus on creating infographics because no matter what type
Hmm.
of business you are, infographics can crush it from you. It can drive you more customers, more links, more traffic, and most people don't know how to create infographics the proper way, right? Not putting too much data in there, making the story flow, right? You have to have infographic has to have different stories and connect. Trying to limit it to 6 main points in the infographic. Like all these elements are very important that most people forget.
That surprises me because it's an infographic. I do some copywriting and I see that as a great visual aid on the page, right, to help sell. But how does that work with SEO?
Well, at the bottom of infographics are embed codes, and embed codes help you get more links. The links help
Okay.
you get higher rankings.
Okay. That would be the technical side. I don't always get involved in at that level of detail. All right. So, what kind of tips for telling this story? You said like 6 items and kind of keep it to that and a story elements in that.
So it has to have
Are there
six
any
main
others?
points.
Yeah.
One main point could, let's say you're doing an infographic on how colors affect purchases.
Okay.
So one point would be how males and females, what colors, the meaning of colors. So you could do, hey, red means this, green means this. Another point could be how males view color versus how females view color. So you would have 6 main points like that.
Okay.
And then you would just tie it all into a story. So if you're talking about how colors affect purchases, you first can start by the meaning of colors. Then you can talk about how males and females view each color differently. Then you can talk about, which colors end up converting the best on average. So you can just create a story, right? And it all flows together. And then from there, you can wrap it up with a conclusion like, hey, here's an example of someone who does all of this. That's a popular brand. And here's, look how big of a company they are. And here's how many
Okay.
sales they do online and stuff like that.
Cool. I've seen there was some kind of automated product for putting together your own infographic with templates. Now, would you suggest like staying totally away from something like that and
Yeah,
yeah, having a pro make your
they
own?
don't work well. You can go to 99 Designs and try to get someone to design you a custom infographic for 250 bucks.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's your best option. And then you got to go find a coder to put those codes in at the end, like you were talking about, right?
No, no, no. If you're using WordPress, there's a plugin called WordPress Embed Generator.
Okay.
and it does it all for free for you, and you don't have to be a techie.
Hmm. There's it. You're going to see infographics on my site soon, everybody. Thanks a lot for that one, Neil. I love WordPress. It's so easy, and those plugins are really fantastic. Speaking of WordPress, I guess what's the best SEO plugin to use with WordPress? Is it just the standard one that we always see?
Yeah, I would use the one by Yoast, so that one works out really well.
Okay. What's the biggest thing that people forget with SEO? And we'll finish with that.
The biggest thing they forget is it takes time. So they try to
Hmm.
do all these things, they try to over optimize, and they expect to see results. The reality is you're not going to see results right away. You need to give it time. SEO is not a 3 month thing, it's a multi-year type of thing.
Okay. So if we're going to get into it, we need to be serious and ready to stick around and not expect those magic push button results,
Exactly.
which is true for just about every area of business. Everyone out there. So
That's right. You can't get results right away, sadly.
yeah, I guess let's finish up, Neil. Is there any particular site, or I mean, that you would recommend they go to of your own, or would you just like them to go to QuickSprout and sign up for your blog?
Yeah, that works out.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Neil. Really appreciate you spending the time with us today.
Thank you for having me.